to Whiskey and Motorcycles. Gonna be on to our second episode. Kind of went over it a little bit very end of the last one, but we're working on Sportster, getting the new wheel and tire on it. When I first built this bike, I put a 16-inch wheel on it, just like stock. I just kind of like the look of it, and I really liked that I was going to be able to run just a fatter and wider back tire. In my head, it was going to work because I measured from, the swing arm and all the places, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have plenty of room. Got all the parts months in advance, and let them sit around for a while before I put it all together. Finally went to put it together. Of course, nothing ever goes together exactly like you want it when you're doing a project like this. I figured out that it was probably not going to fit when I was taking the old wheel off, and I seen how close the belt was to the tire. I went ahead and just kept going with it because at that point I had nothing else to do. I was hoping it would just barely clear. It didn't. So in the meantime, I had to just shave off the side nubs in the tire, and it still just barely works. So I'm building a chopper now. I need a 16 rear wheel for that. Exactly this one. And they make an 18 that I can run these Shinko tires with. So I went ahead and just bought the 18-inch wheel and a Shinko tire. Back of this, take this off. I also have a nail, a couple different nails actually. One right there, which wasn't too big a deal because of the blocks. But there's another one somewhere here in between them. There's one there too. There's one in somewhere in between one of these blocks. Can't find it exactly right now. But it really ruined this tire right here. If I pull that out with a pair of pliers right now, it just leaks. So the tire's done, unfortunately, between me having to butcher the side, which wasn't too big a deal as far as the tire tread and stuff go on and everything I was doing with it. But with that nail in there, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to replace it anyways. Now's the perfect time. I don't want to put this thing in a show with, I don't know if you guys can see this in the video, but I mean, it just looks chewed up on the side. It doesn't even look like I cut it. It just looks like it got chewed up from the chain. But anyways, so that's what this video is going to be about. I already got the bike on the lift and everything, and I took the right bag off. I wanted to go ahead and talk about that real quick. It's not anything special that I did here, but I just got a regular saddlebag mount, and I got some flat bar, some holes drilled in it that I welded on to this saddlebag mount. And what I did was take like the other half of this, or the other, I just bought a whole nother piece really, and put it on the inside. And I'm running, let me see if I can, just a Allen head screw, lock, washer, and a wing nut. Running 4 of them across there to really help hold the bag on and kind of keep it secure through these holes. I'm not putting anything super heavy in the bags, and there's times that I want to be able to take the bags on and off the bike because I don't always want to have the saddle bags or the big bag on the back. I want to be able to just kind of ride it around back and forth to work, whatever I want to do. So that was my design for a quick attach. You can kind of see how I got it going in this one. There's a little bit of foam in here, but I'll show you this one put together. I also have a bolt running through. With some stainless polished spacers where the turn signals were. It's another project that I'm going to work on in another video too. I bought an integrated turn signal taillight for this bike because I eliminated the side lights and I thought it would work for the turn signals and taillight. However, without having any turn signals, I need like a relay for this light or just to add some turn signals somewhere on the back of this bike. I haven't quite figured out which one I want to do yet because, like I said, I don't want to have these bags on all the time. I want them to be able to be taken off, do whatever. So I have to try to mount them somewhere on the bike. I thought about doing like the tags, stuff like that. Some small lights. I haven't exactly figured it out yet. Whenever I decide, I'll get that done and video it for you guys. This bag here, I won't be able to take it off right this second because the key's up in the bag. But I can unlock this, and I have this plate just attached to the sissy bar luggage rack, so I can take the whole box off. It still has this little mount on the rack, but I'm not real worried about that. Like I said, I just want to be able to take all this stuff off if I want to and just kind of ride around dirt trails or whatever without a bunch of extra weight in the back. And same with the windshield. If I had the bags and stuff, I run it just because I like the equal look of it. But if I don't have the bags on, I definitely don't have the windshield on because I just like the clean look of it. And it's got just the quick detach levers on it. Makes it super easy to mount kind of wherever I want. Sometimes, you know, I like it a little lower so I can look over top of it. Sometimes I try to run it all the way up the forks. But anyways, this video is just gonna kind of be me taking the wheel off for now. And then once we get that wheel and tire mounted up, we'll throw it back on for now. Actually, in this video, we'll also be spacing out just the wheel because this is a TC Bros wheel. It comes with these 3 different spacers. You gotta make sure it works for what you got. It's pretty much the same combination. Pretty sure I know what I'm gonna do already, but we'll do that. And then I'll get the tires mounted to the wheels for the chopper and this one all at the same time. We'll come back, get this one on so we can get off the lift and get the front end and the rear wheel back on the chopper, make a roller out of it. And then closer to the show that this bike's gonna be in, we'll get this one washed up and polished up and everything we need done to it. And that's pretty much it for now. So I'm gonna set you guys up where you can see what we're doing. It's a couple days later. I got the tire mounted to the wheel. I didn't end up filming how I did the spacing necessarily, but it came with 3 spacers. The skinniest one I put on the left side of the bike, driver's side. The other side, I put the second longest one that it came with. And, you know, just stuck it in the side there. And I put it all together and it wasn't bad. It spaced pretty good, but even when I had the old spacers on the old wheel, it just didn't line up quite right. Now when you put the axle in, the swing arms are supposed to kind of compress in so there's a little space, but it was just a little bit too much for my liking. So I took one of the old spacers I took off and I just took just like a washer size pretty much I didn't even have any washers laying around, or I would have just used a 3/4 washer. But I went ahead and just made that, and it fits on the other side of the brake caliper now when it goes through the axle, and I like how it fits much better. I went ahead and put the wheel up in here. I didn't record any of that. They probably end up just fast forwarding through it anyways, but I'll go ahead and link this wheel up real quick and put the axle through it, tighten it down, lower it, see how it sits. I think this 18-inch, it will sit just slightly taller in the back than it did, but I think it'll level it out a little more. Just as the bike sits on a lift, you can kind of tell the back's sitting a little higher just because the back end does still need to be dropped down, but it'll still level out compared to what it was. It sat decently level before, but it was still sagging just a little bit in the back, I think. It's kind of hard to tell. I've never really double checked other than just looking at it. I did do the 7.5-inch travel suspension in the front. I can't remember what the company is now. There's a guy that makes them. I think he does like 7.5 and 5-inch. And then for the back, a lot of guys run different, like Burleys, or there's all kinds of different taller shocks for these Sportsters you can run. But as you can kind of tell with this bike, I went with a kind of a chrome look to it, and all those shocks are black or black and red, or so I found these chrome shocks that were taller. These are, I believe, 11.5-inch, if I remember right, and they are just old iron head Sportster shocks. So they do look, in my opinion, better because kind of chrome, they go with the rest of the look of the bike. But I definitely sacrificed a little bit of ride quality with those. It still rides kind of rough, but I'm not taking it off anything serious, not taking no sick jumps or anything with it. I'm just kind of putting down some dirt trails, and honestly the dirt trails seem to be a little smoother sometimes than some of these big ass potholes we got in the road sometimes, so they've worked out all right for now. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this wheel on there, set you off to the side, let you watch me mount this up, kind of just walk you through what I do to make it the easiest. See a good angle there. Alright, so what I like to do is, with these spacers, this wheel works great because they just fit right in there, and they kind of get held in there. Unlike some of them sealed bearings, they don't like to do that. I'm going to first get this brake caliper in its groove while I still can. Yep, definitely can't. Gotta cut this chain off already. But that's fine, it's not a problem. Alright. Learn from my mistakes. I am no professional mechanic. Okay, so I got that on there. Put this chain on there. Kind of trying to do this without having to readjust for the adjusters down there. Let me show you real quick. Grab the camera, and like I said, just in case this didn't make sense, actually goes through there. I'm gonna put this washer on next, then it goes through the caliper, then through that spacer. Of course, to this other side, to the bigger spacer or the medium-sized spacer that comes with this kit, and then to the other side to the washer and nut. Now, one thing I did forget to mention, it shows on their website. So if you read, like sometimes I do, not always, the descriptions fully and thoroughly, they tell you that this wheel, the hub on it, is for 99 and earlier Sportsters. So the only difference really with it is the rotor and your sprocket on the other side. Hub size are different. A lot of these rotors come with a spacer anyways. I think every rotor I've ever bought came with one. Thrown a bunch away because I haven't needed them. And then luckily I had one in my toolbox left sitting around for this. I looked around for a little bit for the other one. I don't think I have another one. I need to buy a caliper for the chopper wheel anyway, so I'll probably get it off that. And I'm gonna have to kind of modify it to work over on this side. And not sure exactly how I want to do it yet. Right now I've just got this bolted up, so I mean it's fine. I don't really plan on riding it too much until I get that fixed. I mean maybe like just around the block to make sure I like the tire and stuff. And there's no problems with that. But I'll get another one of those spacers and put it in here. The only thing about that is the rotors are recessed on one side to fit that spacer. This is not. So it'll bump this out a little bit. I'm gonna try it and see if I like it or not. If not, I may get another sprocket. I just don't want the chain to be too out of line, but I really don't think, as small of a difference it is, because I did try that spacer on here when I had the wheel off. I don't think it's gonna really throw it off. I think it'll be fine, but once I actually get the chain on there and see if it runs straight, I'll make that decision. But anyways, just wanted to show you this real quick, how exactly I'm doing that. Okay, so I just realized I never filmed an outro for this video, so I'm gonna do it real quick now. I'm gonna go over what we got done here. There's a lot I didn't film, but I got this bike all cleaned up for the show. And it was actually, the show was this weekend. I just went and brought it back today. So we white layered the front tire, white layered the back tire. Got all this down here, really polished up, cleaned the chain. I didn't talk about this issue before, but I bought this exhaust. It comes with a bracket that normally mounts to your engine mount down here behind the chain. Well, as you can see, the chain's in the way right there. So I had to modify it and weld it to the frame to make it work. When I did it, I didn't like exactly where it sat, and I didn't have the pipes adjusted right. And they're supposed to look pretty level like they are now. And this pipe was like clear up here, like I couldn't even get my finger in between them. So they didn't sit right, it didn't look good. So I took the time one night I completely took the bracket off, re-welded it better where I wanted it, untook the pipes up, or loosened the pipes up here, moved them, adjusted them. I got, what else did I do? I really cleaned it up, put the bags back on. Let me see if I can get around this other side to show you. I have to work on it still, but you can see right there. I got some turn signals for it. So it kind of fixed my turn signal problem. I like where they're at. They're hidden kind of back there, so the tail light will still work. The only problem is they're LED, and I have to have a certain relay for them. I got some relays, and right now, the way I got them wired up, they're not flashing the same rate on both sides. So I need to double check my wiring, and then I also have to fuse them before the lead, which I haven't done yet. The show went pretty good. Brought home a little trophy. second place for the modified category. So that was pretty cool. I really just, not a big deal to me if I got a trophy. I'd put it in there for a show and for fun to let people see my creation, because I ride this bike around a lot and there's a lot of people that stop and they're like, what is that, a Harley? What is that, a dirt bike? What is that? What kind of bike is that, man? And then the people that know what it is are just very intrigued. So I just thought it'd be cool to put it in a show, just to kind of let people talk about it, good, bad, whatever. And but it was cool. Fun experience. First bike I put in like a real show. I've put my Softail in like a little 4th of July car show deal one time, but other than that, this was the first like actual show I put it in. So anyways, kind of thought that was neat. But that's what we did with the bike. We just took a lot of time cleaning it up, fixing those pipes, putting signals in it, you know, just kind of small detail work to get it ready for the show. And yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and end it right there with this outro. And I'm gonna have another video coming out real soon this week. My goal is to get them out on Fridays, so this one's going to be coming out earlier, obviously, or it's actually late. Been had this video filmed for a while, so got lots of parts in for the chopper. I'm trying to be careful where I aim the camera right now. Don't want to get behind me because I've got lots of stuff sitting on the bench that we'll end up showing here in the upcoming videos. Anyways, thanks for watching again, and hope you enjoyed the video.